to my channel, TMNJ. So tonight, well today, not tonight, my bad. Today, I want to speak to you guys about the Akashic Records. I know it's been a while since I've done a video, right? I just got out of hermit mode, so it's been something. Alright, but to continue on forth, right? The Akashic Records, everyone has a different perspective on Akashic Records. People say it's a library, others say it's like a system, like a computer. Others say it's a different dimension, everyone's idealism, or rather not idealism, but thought process towards the Akashic Records is very different, right? With that being said, after I got out of my hermit mode, I went straight to learning about the Akashic Records and understanding it. It was quite delightful, actually. The Akashic Records is, in my perspective, a system in a different dimension, highly dimensional. Every person's Akashic Records is different in the concept of each person has a different keeper. That's the knowledge I've come to obtain about what to call the being who guards or keeps track of your records, like a librarian, basically. Now, mind you, each person's keeper is different, literally, whether it be male or rather, you can you can ask them if they go by male or female or neither, or just a name, simply put. But each person's keeper is different, simply put. The Akashic Records also, before I continue forth, they go towards your past, present, and future, if I'm not correct, towards even other timelines of what has occurred, what hasn't occurred yet, and so on and so forth. But understand that as I speak, my records are literally going, like they're being written as I speak. As I say all this to you, this is inputting into my record. So everything you've done is in your records that your keeper has knowledge of. Even your past lives, again, your keeper has knowledge of. When it comes down to things, though, mind you, the Akashic Records, they can be accessed being taught, mind you, or sometimes, like myself, for example, I was doing a tarot reading, and I was able to access the Akashic Records. Hold on a second. I am thirsty. I was able to access someone else's Akashic Records accidentally in a reading towards the love reading for her. And it was quite interesting. And some individuals, again, have to be taught how to, or rather, learn. So there's three ways to go about it. Either one, you end up accessing the Akashic Records accidentally, like I did, which is again, as I said in the reading, I went towards her past life, which was quite interesting to me, which correlated with the life she's currently living, which is quite interesting. It's two, you can be taught by someone who understands the Akashic Records heavily and I'd say an Akashic Records master, practitioner, someone who teaches it to others and to other individuals. Or three, you can there's a book that you can learn it from. And the book, actually, I have this right here. You probably can't see it based on the thing, but actually, hold on. What I'll do is, so don't mind the painting in the background. So this is the book. Very interesting, right? I'll be sure to put it in the the comment section if possible. But yes, this is the book. Maybe I'll just put it in the maybe I'll just put it in the crap, the YouTube thing. I don't recall my thought was going to be. Yes, this book that I acquired from a friend. I learned heavily how to open the Akashic Records, but also understand that if you're not drawn to it, do not go towards the book. My personal perspective. If you're not drawn towards the Akashic Records, I'm not gonna say don't get the book. I'm not gonna say that. If you're not drawn towards the records, you're not opening your records. If you don't feel like you're drawn to it. Sometimes in other lifetimes, you've opened your records up. Other times, it's like you're just not meant to open them up for a certain reason because it's at times something you're not meant to learn. I should say something that again, other past lives that you've lived, you may have opened them, understood them to a certain degree, and so on and so forth, and other accounts towards this lifetime you're living, towards other lifetimes you're not meant to learn in this lifetime, but in a different lifetime, because apparently you're just maybe spiritually and psychologically not ready for it, because the Akashic Records, they're very... If you're not ready for it, it's just not for you, simply put. If you're not drawn to it, it's not for you. It's a very complex thing, the records, honestly speaking. It's not difficult to open them. It's not. But it does require you to be grounded. It does require your mind to, no, I wouldn't say be cleared, but for no negativity. Because let me tell you right now, what I learned heavily is no one can access the Akashic Records if their intentions are negative. Simply put, you won't be allowed in the records if your intentions are negative. If you can steal from the records as well, mind you. You shouldn't, because you'll be barred from the records. When I mean barred, I mean basically speaking, your keeper will not allow. When I say steal from the records, because people are going to think I mean physically. No, the records are not physical. No, not at all. More so spiritual and psychological in a sense, I guess you could say. When I opened my record for the first time, I am very clairvoyant. With all the clairs, I'm very clairvoyant and clairaudient. And I think claircognizant, I don't really recall. But for me, I can heavily hear my guides again, as well as hear my keeper speaking to me and converse with my keeper, as well as I can see the images that I won't say I asked to see, but if I asked for a past life to see what happened or what I look like, which I have seen what I look like in a past life. It was quite interesting. But I will see such things. So when it comes down to stealing a book, for example, right? Again, your Akashic Records is like a library. Everyone classifies it differently. I classify it, my perspective, as literally a dimensional library. And mind you, the records are above angels, they're above spirit guides. They're literally almost one of the, I think they are the highest tier in the dimensions to access, which means you must be on your A game, or I wouldn't say A game, but really elevated within yourself to learn the Akashic Records and be able to maintain such knowledge or maintain yourself within the records. Because actually, no, let me get to it. I'll get to that in a second. When it comes down to things though, with stealing a book, for example. So for example, a friend of mine spoke to me, right? And she was saying how, basically, because you think like stealing a book is like physically, right? No, if you visually imagine yourself, literally visually picturing yourself taking your hand and grabbing a book off the bookshelf, quote unquote, and putting it in your pocket, and like secretly walking away with it. you can steal a book. But your keeper, again, will not allow you to. Even though technically it's your records, your keeper will not allow you to take that book. So, at times people, again, have been unallowed or again barred from their records due to doing such blasphemy. And until they get the book back, by literally visually taking it out of your pocket, visually, like, or just in, I'm just demonstrating it. Just visually taking it out of your pocket and giving it back to your keeper, then you can access your records. Literally. But crap, where was I? Okay. So with the other thing I wanted to bring up, when it comes to your records, understand the thing I have really had to is it's when you've individuals who friends, I guess you could say, or allies, companions, whatever the hell you want to call it, who have access to their records and have experience with it. It's great to have such knowledge of, okay, this and that and this, because just like channeling. So when you open your records, it's similar to channeling but different. Okay, when you channel, like say for example, deities, like Anpu, Anubis, Bastet, Horus, Osiris, Athena, Poseidon, Hades, Zeus. I've channeled a good amount of them, honestly speaking. Not Hades, though. I'm good on Hades. Yes, the gods, the pantheons do exist. Yes, the gods, deities are real, to clarify that. I'll get into that in some time, actually. I honestly may just have a video about that, so I won't speak on that much. Actually, I'm being told I will not have a video about that. Possibly. We'll see. But when it comes down to, yes, the pantheons, the deities are real. Highly. But with that being said, just like when I channel them or channel my guides or channel other people's guides, being literally a landline, sadly. What ends up occurring is some individuals will not speak on it whatsoever, but when you channel, you take up a lot of energy. Like, I mean, you channeling drain. So let me say this: if you have not eaten any food or drinking any water in a couple hours, I would not recommend anyone channel. If your stomach is literally empty, do not channel. Because I've done that and I've had literal migraines. It's not good. Or even if you're on psychedelics, I would not recommend it to a certain degree. If you're on psychedelics, please do eat. If you want to channel, please do eat beforehand. And before you do psychedelics and afterwards, actually, my video on psychedelics, I'm gonna have to take that down and redo that. But with that being said, though, when it comes to channeling, again, it can take up a lot of energy and literally drain you of the fluids and food in your body and, resources. So, mind you, getting towards the Akashic Records, what I learned is heavily when you're channeling the records, right? Not channeling, but when you open your records, opening records is not channeling at all. Channeling is literally when you let a deity speak through you, highly. That's more so channeling. Or let the universe speak through you. One of the two. But with the Akashic Records, that's entirely different. That's not channeling. With the records, as you have them open, mind you, you can literally fall asleep with them. I've done it, but I'd recommend you eat a lot of food and water beforehand, because here's what happens with the records. When you have them open, they drain a lot of energy from you. So you literally must make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Like, I mean, I've literally drinking like about 4 bottles of water, having my records open. No. 2 bottles of water, no, not even 2. 4 bottles of water per like maybe an hour. That's a lot for me to drink 4 bottles of water in an hour. No, it's not. It depends on the day. But literally, you have to make sure that you have food beside you, or next to you, or somewhere in close proximity towards you, as well as water, because the records will drain you of a lot of fluids in your body heavily. So it is a high recommendation that if any of you are to open the records up, for you to go on ahead and take precautions as to, okay, let me drink water as I do this. Mind you, when you ask questions with the records, you can ask your keeper questions, right? And sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just something a friend of mine was talking to me about. Do not ask yes or no questions. Do not say, should I eat this? Because they'll look at you like, why should you not eat it? Literally. The questions for you to ask, which if you get this book, again, you'll see. Mind you, it's not that you shouldn't ask yes or no questions, but they won't give you a yes or no answer. They won't. Your keeper will not give you a yes or no answer because, again, it's all based upon your decision. If you choose to do it, you do it. They're not going to be like, you shouldn't do that. They're not your guides. Or the deities. They're not your guides, the deities. They're like, you have full control over that. So if you choose to do it, go ahead and do it. Do what you think is the best. Simply, that's literally how the hell they'll speak to you. Well, some people, some keepers speak to you like that. Some are more direct, or some are just more passive aggressive. But the questions you would ask are, what, why, how? Simply. That's what I heavily learned, what, why, how. But other times, if you're trying, what I'll say is there are other ways to ask your keeper questions, and at times, if you feel it's difficult to ask something, they can literally just, as I learned, they can basically comprehend what your energy is saying, what you're trying to word out, and they're like, okay, I got you. I'll aid you in this. And then understanding what you're trying to configure. But other times, understand when you access your records, there's information that even your guides won't tell you. Or cannot tell you, simply put. Because you're meant to learn it. Not from them, but from other beings, since given your keeper and what lies ahead. Your keeper can give you immense advice. The deities can give you advice. Your guides can give you advice, but your keeper can give you immense advice. Understand that. That, especially towards understanding what you need to do in this life of yours. Well, for me, I learned that my ego has to be not killed. That's what you should think, right? Your ego has to be killed, but your ego is part of you, so it's more so the concept of making sure everything within you is balanced. Simply put, not this way, not that way, balanced. Literally, because again, every part of you, your ego, your consciousness, everything, your personality, your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, they're all one and the same. Literally. Even when it comes to telepathy, that's different. But it all goes towards balancing you out, heavily. Is there any more I wanted to say? I do not think so. But that being said, yes, I would highly, even if any of you choose to open up your records, please do ground yourself beforehand. It is best to ground yourself. So make sure you're not in your emotions or anything, because it won't be good. Again, and understand no negative entities can enter the records. The records are full of, you should say, light. And heavy levels of protection. No negative beings can enter the records. Going towards, if you're a negative person, no, you cannot enter the records at all. If you're in a negative mindset, no, you cannot enter the records. If you're negative intentions, no, you cannot enter your own records. It's not possible. Even if you're trying to read for someone else or access someone else's records, again, they have to give you permission to do this. Yes, they have to give you permission to open their records. I'm saying this. They don't have to give you permission verbally, but energetically, yes. Like when I was doing my reading for the friend of mine, I accessed her records through her energy because I was allowed to read her energy, which her records were technically part of her energy. All right. But yeah, there's a lot. I can't really speak on the keeper as much because everyone's keeper is different, but understand if you are to if you want to do this. The one thing that I understand is something that I learned heavily, which helped me a lot. You can be friends with, don't be afraid to be friends with your keeper. Just like, for example, with deities as well as your guides. I mean, your guides are technically speaking your best friends. Technically speaking, the deities as well. Any deities that may be around you, even though some individuals tend to have a lot of respect and think about it in a respect sort of mindset towards the deities and all. But something I learned is for me, what made it easy for me to speak to deities is, you know what, I'm not gonna get to that. I'll do that in a different video. But with your keeper, do not feel afraid to make friends with them, because again, they're your keeper, your specialized keeper. No one else has the same keeper as you. No one. So if you feel to asking them questions like, "What's your favorite food?" they can literally answer those questions and tell you the exact favorite food. But understand, when you do open your records, whether one of your main clears communication is towards the higher realms, is, you know, clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience, or clairvoyance. When it comes down to, understand that, hey, they can give you answers. They can literally speak to you and tell you, hey, my favorite food is Chipotle, or my favorite food is burgers, or this and that and this. And if you can even ask them about their appearance. Literally, like, hey, what do you look like? And they'll literally transform in a way that they know you would be accommodated towards. Literally. I won't speak about my keeper, what he looks like, but quite interesting. I'm about to end this video though. Before I end it, I have a feeling some of you who may be viewing this, who will be viewing this, need some sort of energy cleanse. So I'd like everyone to close their eyes right now, okay? Take a nice deep breath and just relax. All right. Hopefully your energy fields were clear from that. And I love all of you. And this video is done. Subscribe to my channel, TMNJ, for more videos like this. I stopped posting videos before and after Hermit. I may be posting some more videos, especially for tarot. I know I'll be posting a tarot video soon, given I've gotten more decks too. So I'll be posting a video of an oracle reading, not a tarot reading. Tarot cards or oracle cards, more so to say. Very soon, 'cause I'm very intuitive in my readings. Is that all? Yes, it is all. So again, my name is Taras. Channel is TMNJ. Subscribe for more. And if you have any questions, you can either email me. I'll put my email in the comment section below, or just put in the comment section. Well, I'll put my email in the description section. And again, Jeanne.